You know, I've been thinking about what happens after the holidays. I wonder what you'll be doing, how you'll be feeling and thinking and relieved or depressed, or will you be remembering, relishing, reflecting? You know, as time has passed in my life, I have found that it is easier to remember events, people, life, if I experience it mindfully, and if I bring it back to mind after it has happened. So for instance, you know, one of the things that my family does on Christmas is we all sit down around the tree and we open presents together. And we start from the youngest and we go to the oldest. My mom is the oldest. And as each gift is opened from each person, there's a story about where that gift came from and why that gift was given, and what they hope that gift will offer. So it's not just this tearing open of presents. It's an opportunity for the mindfulness, for us to be mindful of each gift given and shared wholly, heart to heart. And what happens, at least for me, is I can reflect back on it, to bring that memory back and relish it and feel that joy again. I tend to give gifts that have a theme. Each year I pick gifts that I can tell a story about, and many people in my family do as well. Why this is important, where it came from, how I got it. I remember one year, my brother is a beer brewer, and I bought him a lunchbox. But on the lunchbox was, a picture of a particular brewery that he was interested in, and inside there was a cup from that brewery and a can of beer from that brewery. Now, a simple story. I got it when we were in Portland, Oregon, and that's where this brewery is, and they were having a big brew festival, and so my wife and I wandered through, and I thought, wow, this would be, this is something my brother would love, and it's from a brewery he hasn't had contact with before, and I learned about the brewery so I could tell my brother more about it, because he travels around the country and goes to these different breweries and is always interested in learning more about brewing beer, and so it's a whole. For him, it is a part of who he is. And it's a joyful thing to kind of add to his story as he continues brewing beers, as he continues judging beer contests, as he does these things all over the country. And it's a joy to add to his story. And then to reflect back on it the day after Christmas or days beyond, and even to call him and talk to him about it sometime, about his story and how it continues. You see, it's not so much that I focus on the joy, just the joy in the moment, just the giving of the gift, but the relishing of it, the bringing it in, sharing it heart to heart and story to story, and reflecting back on it day after day, weeks later. So joy is not something that it's not like this transient, experience that passes quickly before us, and we're overwhelmed by it, and that may be true. But my belief is that joy is something that lingers. If we pay attention, if it's shared person to person. I really enjoy joy, because to me it's about not just a single day in the year, not just a single season, but how we live in the world with the experiences we have. And I told you that story of the tigers and the strawberry, and you might wonder how that relates. Well, life is kind of like, at times anyway, it's kind of like having a tiger above and a tiger below, and you're holding on to this this root, and the mouse is eating the root, and you're getting ready to fall, and it can feel like that sometimes. Stressful, overwhelmed. How can you get through it? And then you see a strawberry. Something wonderful in your life. And you could dwell on the tigers or the fall or the mouse. But you can also take that strawberry, either that life experience that presents itself, or a life experience that you had sometime in the past that gives you such great joy. and bring it into yourself and just relish it. Let it come into your heart, into your body, your soul, and feel that joy, even in the midst of chaos and stress and pressure and COVID and whatever other kinds of tigers or mice that are out there. You know, there are many strawberries if we just look for them. And we can pluck and taste to our heart's content, that we can experience even in the midst of whatever. And you know, when you take a moment to taste the strawberries that life offers, Christmas strawberries or holiday strawberries or Thanksgiving strawberries, or life has so many strawberries out there. And I think we are called to pay attention to those strawberries. When was the last strawberry that you had? Was it yesterday? During Christmas? Or perhaps today? When you got up and you looked outside and it was a beautiful day and the sun was rising and your loved ones were with you and you just looked around and joy just rose up within you. Remember that. Hold it within you. Remember it when you need it, as you remember it now when it happens. When those tigers come, and they will come from time to time, pluck that strawberry. And just relish it, enjoy it, taste it fully, even if it's just for a few moments. You know, when you're in that place where you're feeling joy, when you have that full experience of the strawberry, you're a little more centered, a little more grounded, a little more at ease. And perhaps, your thoughts are a little clearer. You find yourself to be a little kinder and more compassionate. Even in the midst of tigers, you can be compassionate. Because others have tigers too. And if you offer them a little kindness, a little joy, a little compassion, might help them remember the strawberries in their lives as well. I hope that you have had a joyful holiday and that there are many more to come. And I hope that you find on occasion strawberries that you can take with you and savor them and enjoy them and bring them back when you need them. So today, as you sit back and drink your coffee and have your bagel and say goodbye to your family and friends after a joyous time together, remember how all these wonderful experiences have been, how wonderful those people in your lives are. Hold it inside you like a ripe strawberry.